Good morning. This is what I get when I try to get fancy. I can't get the music lowered. Good morning, guys and gals. And if your pets are watching, good morning to them too. Make sure you tell them Trooper Steve said good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday here in Central Florida. And on Trooper Steve on Patrol today, we are tackling a pet peeve of mine and many. Something I catch myself talking with a lot of people, or they'll come up to me and they will be, can you believe this? Is this illegal? And I know exactly what they're talking about. Drivers blocking travel lanes. And that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about why it's bad and is it illegal? And I can tell you right now, the combination of the two boil my blood. Boil it. So we're going to travel here in some local streets. We're going to go from Orange into Seminole County. Part reason is because I've got to go pick up my girl Teresa, my big dog, because we are doing a quick little promo for Paws for Peace today with Eric Sandoval and his dog Bandit. We are co-ambassadors for it this year. Unfortunately, something came up. Huge, awesome opportunity for me to do a story for veterans. Not this Saturday, but next. So I'm unable to be there that day. But that does not mean I'm not going to dedicate me and my social media leading up to this. And of course, Eric will be out there emceeing the event. But let's hit the road. Let's talk a little bit. And then we will dissect this a little bit. Just a little bit. Because to me, this is simple stuff, y'all. But to you guys, it's almost like I'm asking for $1 million donation to the Trooper Steve Foundation when I'm doing stuff like this. There's no such thing as a Trooper Steve Foundation yet, so if someone comes knocking on your door asking for that, you're being scammed. But blocking travel lanes. I can't tell you how many times I've been at a traffic light, looking at a traffic light. My light is green, and the traffic's not moving. So you give a little polite beep, and then other people start beeping, and you realize something's wrong. But what's up ahead? There's someone with their butt of their truck or their car still in your lane because they decided to change lanes. And that is what we call improper passing or obstruction of a travel lane. And it's simply because, I say this all the time, you are making your mistakes everyone else's mistakes, and that should not be the case. Whenever we are traveling on the roadway, we are in designated travel lanes. So this right now is my lane. If I know I want to make a left at some point, I'm going to change lanes properly. But what I have seen is, I can kind of explain it here briefly, and then we're actually going to show it to you. So, for example, we're driving here in the right travel lane of 434, and say this light was green, and then I suddenly realized I need to be in the turning lane. And then I stop here, and I try to push my way into that turning lane, stopping the through lane. Hope that makes sense. What I want to do is, my producer, Donovan, absolutely awesome. Him and I have been able to do a lot of cool stuff here on News 6 Plus and wherever you're watching at clickorlando.com or the News 6 app. And just because we may not see something doesn't mean we can't show you. So we're going to show you a video that's playing on your screen here right now. And this video is showing you a video I took yesterday, actually. So that truck that you're seeing is in a right turning lane, but realizes that they want to be in the right through lane. So they scoot their vehicle over just a little bit, but what are they doing in return? They have now held up the entire right turn lane simply because they don't want to be there anymore. This is improper, this is rude, this is inconsiderate, and someone like this deserves a citation. So coming back out here with me, that is a moving violation. It could cost you anywhere from $164 to $166, and then 3 points on your driver's license, because at this point you are the one contributing to traffic that normally would not be there. Does that make sense? So if you are trying to get somewhere, you should make your adjustments before you get to the spot. Someone will say, well, Steve, I didn't realize it till the last minute. Well, first, that's on you. It's all on you. And second, correct it somewhere where it can be properly taken care of. What do I mean by that? I mean, if we're driving out here behind this absurdly slow vehicle, I say that because I'm doing 27 miles an hour in a 45 zone. No turning, thanks bud, thanks. So Pennsylvania tag, we do use turning signals here in the state of Florida. If you're from out of state and you didn't know, they're located on the left-hand side of your steering column. To push it, you push the knob down, the stick down, and that indicates your turning signal to go left and up to go right. If you didn't know, your vehicle does have that. Actually, all of them do. So we'll get back over here into the straight through lane here. But correcting issues, minor traffic issues can be corrected anywhere, and yes, it will impede you a little bit. It will slow you down a little bit, but then you're saving yourself from a possible citation. You're saving yourself from possible road rage type incident, and you're no longer contributing to the 10 cars that are now stuck behind you because you want to put yourself somewhere else. So as we're traveling out here on 434, traffic's pretty nice this morning. We did have an interesting morning when it came to traffic because we had a Seminole County Sheriff's Office unit hit in a construction zone, but all of this stuff preventable. So I want to give a brief example here. So I'm going to switch to a back camera here in just a moment, but it would be like this. Say I'm trying to get into this turning lane here. We move into the turning lane, rear camera activated, and say there was a bunch of cars behind me, right? All these cars stacked up behind me because we want to turn right. I'm in the right turning lane. But as I come over here, I realize, oh man, I want to be in the straight lane. So instead of turning, I sit here and put my nose out to the other travel lane. If there were vehicles behind me, I am now committing a violation because I'm in a designated right turn lane. But I'm now holding up all this traffic so I can correct myself. That is not what you should be doing. You should have pulled in, like here. Oh my gosh, Steve, but it's so inconvenient. Yep, you did it. No one else did it. You did it. So then you would simply correct yourself somewhere. Pull into a parking lot like I am right here. Properly pull a U-turn or back out to where you need to. And then come right back out. Because that took me what? A minute? Minute and change, if that? So, and guess I didn't do. I did not mess traffic up. No one honked on me because no one was stuck in traffic because I moved with the flow of traffic. And it really didn't inconvenience me as long as internally I've accepted I made the mistake, I'm going to fix it. So before we pull out, we want to make sure traffic is clear on the left side of the vehicle. You look both ways, even though you're pulling out to northbound lanes. Everything looks good. We pull on out. Remember, you're pulling out on a right turn into the closest travel lane here. But this stuff happens so much that it's pretty aggravating to me. Pulling up over here. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it, and I didn't catch it on camera. Bicycle ran the red light. Should be paying attention. But here, so if I was in this travel lane, my intention is to go straight. I'm in a right through lane. It only goes straight. And then, say if I'm sitting here and I wanted to go into that right turning lane, and if I didn't move and this light was green because I wanted to get over, I would be the obstruction. Part of we've realized in our Trooper Steve on patrols is something pretty big that a lot of you guys don't like hearing. You'll ask me to go to a spot and look at it. You'll ask me, hey Steve, why is the traffic the way it is? Why are we having these problems? So I hear you, I understand you, and then I'll go out and visit. But it's nowhere close that it's an infrastructure problem. It's a you problem. It's the people in your community problem. Because you have drivers that are not paying attention to the simplest of laws. Simplest. Is that even a word? Simplest? I'm a trooper, not a English teacher. But that's what causes the problem. So my PhD producer just came in my ear and said, Steve, that is not a word. Hence why I've got the BS and he's got the PhD. But here's a good one. This lane is obviously going to merge. It tells me it's going to merge. I can see up ahead it's going to merge. I'm going to get over in time and politely so that I am no longer a problem. Didn't start as a problem in the intersection. I don't want to be a problem when I get to the other side. And I know if someone was doing that to me, I'd be so upset. And I consider myself a kind driver. And let me explain. I believe there's a big difference between being a nice person and a kind person. I think a nice person is just genuinely rather passive and is all the time. It's not an intentional act. It's just who they are, and they really can't turn the heat up. I think being kind is an intentional act, and people are consciously aware of it. So being a kind driver means you are behind the wheel. You are intentionally doing things so that you or another driver are not inconvenienced by things. Okay? I'm not talking about the clueless person that's just driving like Miss Daisy out there, and just doing their thing. That's a nice driver. They're not speeding, they're always using their turning signal, but they're not completely aware of what's happening. A kind, intentional driver knows that the roadways aren't great, and they're going to come out here and they're looking around. They are looking at traffic, not just the car in front of them, but 3 to 4 car lengths out, because they want to anticipate things. They are aware of where they are going. They're not driving blind in a sense of I don't mean this in any mean way. I do mean it sarcastically, but closed head injury. When I'd respond to scenes, even as law enforcement, we are trained to kind of observe people's behavior. Closed head injury, you don't always see it, but yet something ain't clicking. And with a lot of you guys, something just ain't clicking behind the wheel. This morning we watched a crash in that Seminole County zone, and a driver drove into the construction zone. And then while we were observing that crash, someone bailed through the cones and drove through the construction zone because it was open for them. If you were watching live when that happened, I got hot. I got irritated. And if you sit here in front of me for anything more than 3 to 4 solid Mississippis, I'm going to give you a little tap. Something might be wrong in your car, and I want to make sure you're okay. Other than the fact that your face is probably buried in your phone. But that also contributes to the blocking of travel lanes and what we're talking about today. Another thing that I came across in my neighborhood was landscaping units. They'll just park a truck, set it and forget it. Under Florida law, there are no exceptions for landscape vehicles just to put cones out and everything's okay. You have to properly park within that 3-foot range of a shoulder, right up on it, give space, then you put your cone out so other people can pass by. But you then would be considering blocking a travel lane. I recently got sent a picture of a FedEx truck, 2 FedEx vehicles that were back to back on each other in a parking lot. So you might be going, well, it's private property. Right, private property with public access that were blocking 2 disabled parking spaces. No. I would hope that those FedEx drivers were made aware after that they are not allowed to do that and that they are contributing. So blocking traffic doesn't have to be just a travel lane. It could be a parking spot. It could be a loading zone. It could be a intersection out here to the right of my dash cam here. You can't see it, unfortunately. There's a sign. Big, bold, black letters on a white background. Do not block intersection. You've also maybe seen signs that say don't block the box. Don't block the box. A lot of those signs, City of Kissimmee, great job, have them in their areas because The box being the box of the intersection. A driver will go out because they think that the light's going to stay green. They know, I swear, they know it's going to turn red soon, and they don't want to miss it, so they'll pull out into the intersection, and then opposing traffic light turns green. You are now blocking the box because where are you? You're sitting in the middle of the intersection, stuck there, because you decided to cross over into it. It's an obstruction, it's a moving violation, and you can get a ticket for it. A good rule to live by is you should not go through a traffic signal if you cannot complete the drive through that signal. Well, Steve, how do I know that I'm going to complete that signal or I'm going to be able to complete that motion? Really? That's the question. That's the response I get, guys. And my answer is stop looking at the car that's directly in front of you. For example, I see 4 cars out that traffic's slowing. I'm not going to brake the last minute. I am consciously observing and proactively observing traffic for issues just like that, so that I'm prepared to stop and so that I'm not rear-ending somebody, we don't run into a problem or anything like that. So when we're so stuck at looking at the car in front of us, believe it or not, that contributes to quick slowdowns because you're trying to be aware as possible. Another thing, become familiar with your route, okay? I tend to go to and from work, mostly I'd say 90% of the time, the exact same path. 90%, depending where Trooper Steve on patrol leaves me off, but 90% of the time, okay? If I know that this turning lane goes into a double, why am I going to fight my way into it? I'm just going to wait, let it thin out, and then I'll slide into that opening. But we see the obstructions happen because people are not consciously aware when they're driving, like here. I know that this turns into a 2 left-hand lane area, but these other drivers, they don't realize that. So what do they start doing? They start piling up. Sometimes you would see a driver here to maybe the right of the Lincoln that's in front of me trying to push their way in. This is a huge no-no, because what are you doing at that point? You're obstructing a straight through lane simply because who made a mistake? You made a mistake. So don't turn those those little minor things into mistakes, because what are you doing? You're blocking the main line at that point. You're going to get people honking at you like crazy. Is this car going to go or not? She's on her phone, that's why. The phone thing recently, guys, major problem. Major problem. I would say 70% of the cars that I'm intentionally looking at these days, their phone is either in their hand or it's sitting in their lap, which blows my mind that we're back at this again. And usually it's the car going too slow. I'm going to post on Facebook later a vehicle I was behind yesterday, all over the road, to where I almost called Volusia County Sheriff's Office because I thought they were what we call Signal 1, which is intoxicated. But followed him into a business, homie got out, finished on his phone, and went inside the business. So you may not realize it, but the things you're doing inside your car may appear outside that you're intoxicated. If you're joining us this morning and you go back and watch this stream, we're talking about obstructing travel lanes. And you might go, well, how often does that happen? It happens every day, and you might be the one doing it. When you catch yourself in a turning lane, you don't want to be in that turning lane, so you kind of edge your nose out a little bit, and then you're now blocking that turning lane, and traffic is stopped. It's a moving violation. You're causing problems. You're causing anger out on the roadways, and ultimately it's preventable. If you just make that right turn and pull a U-turn somewhere, I can bet you're going to end up where you wanted to go. I can almost promise you. So today's was kind of a little vent session on my part. I'm obviously in a little traffic sassy kind of mood, but all in all, this stuff's preventable by you, the driver. So if you catch yourself in a position to where, hey, I need to correct it, but correct it properly. Understand that the correction's not going to happen immediately. And yeah, you're going to delay yourself anywhere 2 to 5 minutes, depending on if it's a ramp or if you got to get spun around in traffic somewhere. But to me, my perspective, and what the law's on my side, y'all, it's a moving violation, and you're causing way more problems than the problem that you are individually facing. So guys, I appreciate you joining me on this, what do we do? 22 minutes today. Very nice, easy stream. Talking about obstructing lanes. We were able to show you a video I took yesterday. Of course, you can get all this information over at clickorlando.com/onpatrol. Along with every patrol we have ever done is listed right there. If you're really bored one day and just want a Trooper Steve day, you can watch a bunch of traffic. I am going to go pick up my girl Teresa and then go meet Investigator Eric Sandoval over at Lake Eola so that we can represent and co-ambassador this year's Pause for Peace. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hope you have an amazing day. Please drive safely. And you already know, as always, please wear your seatbelts.